Plants vs. Zombies is still one of the best mobile games of all time, and it came out almost 2 decades ago. This is mainly because of marketability, where every new app is weird, uncreative, random slop created for the sole purpose to make money with a title that could apply to anything, such as Hero Clicker or Pirate Adventure. I haven't even looked up Pirate Adventure. I already know it exists. I checked the App Store and was slightly wrong though. Pirate Kings and the Pirate Caribbean Hunt are still really basic though, and close enough. And unfortunately, the same thing has happened to the PVZ franchise. A company known as EA acquired the rights to the series not long after the original's launch. They decided to make PVZ2, which at the time was a weird sequel, not even close to being better than the original. However, in the present day, PVZ1 has been monetized to heckin' back by EA, and it's been played the most out of the series, so it was kind of just turned into the worst out of the series. With an ad every time you play and win a level, along with no ad subscriptions and watchable power-ups in-game. And PVZ2, while it has ads every now and then, and obviously rentable plants, which goes against the idea of plants, honestly. Like, why do you need to spend money on the cold Snapdragon? Why not just add it to the main game, because it has hundreds of levels and, only 70 unlockable plants. Anyway, I'm going to do analysis of both these games to truly find out, is PVZ2 now better than PVZ1? Before ranking, I should mention the rules. I'm going to give PVZ1 a point or PVZ2 a point depending on a couple important aspects of a regular PVZ game, I guess. Whichever was the highest points win. Anyway. Plants. The plants in the PVZ franchise have a lot of heavy hitters, mainly because they are pivotal to the game itself. Plants vs. Zombies 1 has some good plants, such as the Cattail, Pea-Shooter, Gloom Shroom, Doom Shroom, and Puff Shroom. However, PVZ2 has some solid plants, such as the Torchwood, Red Stinger, Super Bean, or Bok Choy. Or any Jurassic variant plant, really. They're all just, really cool versions. So, starting off with the Cattail. The Cattail is versatile, but is 250 Sun, and personally, buying anything over 200 Sun is a hassle early game. Unless you can have a whole defense you're comfortable enough to spend more. In Endless, it's great as it can hit multiple lanes, no matter which one it's in, but that's about it. Next up is the Pea-Shooter. The Pea-Shooter is the first offensive plant in the entire game series, and it is a good choice for attacking in World 1 and World 3. World 2 has the weaker but cheaper Scaredy Shroom and Puff Shroom, which I'll mention later. World 4 has Nighttime again, plus Split Pea and Cactus are better options for the zombies there. And World 5, because obviously you can't shoot over the big slant. I think you can, but there's only 4 tiles without any slants. There's basically no reason to plant it at that range. You'd be better off with a Scaredy Shroom, which is cheaper, or a Fume Shroom, which generally does more damage for 4 tiles. Unfortunately, there are way too many options for this to be good in the game, but it's good, I guess. It's a solid plant otherwise. And next is the Gloom Shroom, which is once again great on Endless, like the Cattail, as it can hit multiple lanes. And I'm not positive, but I think it can hit multiple, hit zombies with individual shots. If it hits the bottom zombie with, 3 shots, then it does triple damage. Its range is low, but its damage is quite high. I think my only problem with it compared to, Cattail is that it's a lot less safe to use, unless you're building an exact defense specifically for it. The Doom Shroom is basically a cheaper cherry bomb that has a higher range, with the most small nerf ever being a small temporary crater in the tile it exploded in. So, obviously OP. Puff Shroom is the most versatile plant in PVZ1 for sure. Its cooldown is only 5 seconds, I think, and it's free. It's essentially 100% off Pea-Shooter, with its only nerf being a 4-tile range instead of 9. Or 8, technically, as Pea-Shooter's spawn tile doesn't count for its range, obviously. It'd probably be the best plant of all time in the PVZ franchise if it wasn't nerfed in every sequel, and even in its own initial game, where it's only really usable in 2 worlds. Anyway, the Torchwood kind of sucks in the original, as all it does is double the damage of P-shots behind it. However, in PVZ2, they buffed it a lot, because I guess they heard the feedback on it, and they didn't even change its cost. So its extra abilities are that it burns a whole lane on death, kind of like a pepper, and also burns zombies that attack it. It also has a plant food in PVZ2, which makes P-shots that go through it deal 3 times the damage, until it dies. So basically forever, unless you're bad at the game. The red stinger deals more damage depending on the lane. It's cheaper than a repeater and more expensive than a regular pea-shooter. So placing in the back 3 lanes makes it a cheaper repeater that is essentially the exact same, other than it's a decent plant food ability instead of, like, really good. And maybe it's HP. I don't care enough to check if that's true. The Super Bean on the surface is a pea-shooter that is 200 stun. However, upon using it, you realize that it deals damage to all zombies in a lane at once. So it's most likely to deal more damage than the repeater unless there's only 2 zombies in a lane. Enough said, it's just really good, area damage, great. Swarm control, I don't. The Bonk Choi is the most iconic PVZ2 plan, appearing in every sequel to PVZ2. Well, that is a PVZ game. And also, not just, like, it appears in the game, it's on the poster every time next to the others from the original game, like the Sunflower Pea Shooter. It's just that well known. It probably doesn't appear in PVZ Match or something like that, though, but that doesn't really count as a game, honestly. It deals good damage for its costs, plus you can defend it and still get damage. And that's it. If this segment seems a little rushed, that's because I'm probably going to make a ranking of every PVZ plan in the series in the future, so I don't want to spoil the high placement plants, and there's a few in here. So, while PVZ2 has a lot of bad plants, such as rentable ones, the sheer amount of good ones, such as the Jurassic Potato Mine, Super Bean, Red Stinger, Jurassic Sunflower, Jurassic Walnut, and Durian, Fire Pea, Torchwood, and Tile Turnip, if you're good, is definitely better than the PVZ1 plants, where most of them have gotten nerfs since their launch, such as the Puff Shroom or Gloom Shroom. One for stat nerfs and one for appearance nerfs, so obviously PVZ2 wins this one. And now, for the zombies. PVZ1 wins this one. No contest. While PVZ2 has some good zombies, most of them are either variants of Gargantuar, such as the Hair Metal Gargantuar plus the Deep Sea Gargantuar, or just annoying game-changing zombies such as the Fisherman Zombie, plus the Octopus Zombie, which are in the same world, by the way. Did I forget about the Nerd Zombie, which spawns infinite zombie waves until you break an arcade machine that has more health than a Buckethead, I'm pretty sure? Let's not forget about the Piano Zombie, who moves at a medium speed and insta-kills plants by walking over them like an OP Zomboni. However, PVZ1 has greats, like the regular Gargantuar, who makes the last 2 regular levels of the game actually daunting. Or the Bungee Jumping Zombie, who sure is annoying, but is a challenging enemy that promotes a support plant that is always brought back while the zombie isn't. Or even the Basketball Zombie, who is one of the only reasons to use that support plant. Why does the Umbrella Leaf exist anymore, since none of those zombies have been brought back? I mean, certain support plant that will not be named. Anyway, I'm kinda sick of the adventure, so time for the extras. PVZ1 wins, no contest again. PVZ1 isn't built like a freemium game where it's essentially trying to go on forever. So PVZ2 replaces minigames of 2 mediocre modes and an optional endless level each world. I mean, to be fair, Highway to the Danger Zone sounds pretty cool. Due to PVZ1 only being $2 and it having, like, a creative team behind it, every PVZ1 minigame has its own unique idea that makes them interesting. Like Zombie Aquarium, which entirely changes the game to a pet simulator for a scuba zombie underwater. Or iZombie, which makes the player play the zombies with cardboard plants being your enemies, and you have to, like, walk to the left, because that's how zombies go. Or Zombotany, which has plant heads on zombies, and they have the abilities of the plant their head is. The creativity of the minigames is off the charts for the most part. The worst minigame is still innovative as it uses Zombonies and the zombie bobsled team most of the entire game. If you're wondering what that minigame is, because you couldn't figure it out, it's Bobsled Bonanza, easily. Penny's Pursuit, on the other hand, has an energy system. Enough said. The online one is kind of cool, though, but PVZ1 already had a multiplayer mode. But that one was interesting as you directly fought the other player with, like, a whole new PVZ thing. Like, for the zombies, whole deck thing. kind of like the iZombie minigames. And it wasn't just a random player from around the world. You could choose to play with your friends. To be fair, the multiplayer mode is only on consoles and PC stuff, not like on mobile, but it is better in general, though. Not to mention the Zen Garden. While not my favorite in either game, as it's generally unnecessary, PVZ1 is better as it has a bigger space to gardens and plants, and the general idea of gaining coins is shown in the adventure by my least favorite plant ever, maybe. And now I believe I'm halfway through the video, the script. So I just wanted to say the ratings are PVZ1 is 2 points, while PVZ2 has 1 point. Now for the next comparison on this list, level variety. If you're wondering what this means, level variety doesn't exactly mean level design, but the gimmicks of each world and the party stages. While PVZ2 obviously has more of both, quantity doesn't always mean quality. So in PVZ1, World 1 is an introductory world to the entire game series, so no gimmicks. World 2, no sun falling from the sky. World 3, 6 lanes plus 2 are water lanes, so lily pads needed. World 4, fog making you need to hear, plus no sun again. World 5, an angled level map, so catapult plants needed for the most part. And in PVZ2, the order may have changed since I played in 2021, as far I think so at least, but from what I remember, World 1, which is the mummy world, nothing except for some graves at the start of each level, I think. World 2, Pirate Seas. The level design sometimes has bridge tiles and others have water. World 3, Wild West. Minecarts to move plants around with your finger that actually affects the level in real time. It's pretty cool, actually, as a mechanic, because, like, in real time, you can, like, move plants around while playing the game. It's pretty cool. World 4, Frostbite Caves, cold winds of every wave that freeze on fire plants. Fire warms them up, and zombies push tiles. World 5, the jungle one. Sun-giving tiles and trap tiles on some levels. World 6, future. Power tiles to chain plant foods. World 7, dark night. Dark medieval times. I don't know what to call it. It's at night, though. No sun plus more graves. And sun graves as well, for, like, more variety and grave pulling up. Grave digging, I guess. World 8, music changes that affect certain zombies, meaning rock, pop, and rap. To be fair, the thing that they change is the exact same for all of them, meaning insta-killing your front plants instead of damaging them. So that's awesome. World 9 has unkillable dinosaurs that annoy you by pushing zombies toward your plants faster. World 10, moving water that insta-kills most plants that touch it. Also spawn a horde of water imps every now and then. World 11, portals to other worlds for enemies to pop out, and 3 new reworked PVZ1 enemies. Also, PVZ1 bonus stages include conveyor plant selection, phase breakers, and that's about it. PVZ2's bonus stages include shooting birds, multiple round western levels, getting a certain amount of sun, doing a certain amount of damage, do either of those in a time frame, don't plant there, exploding purple sun drops, every level 16 in a world, introducing trap tiles, and the final boss technically. So I think even though PVZ1 was the introductory game to world gimmicks, PVZ2 wins when it comes to both world gimmicks and bonus stages, as number 1, World 3's gimmick is great, and number 2, the bonus stages in PVZ2 make every world have 20-30 levels warranted, as most bonus stages are objectives to win or lose. And the next category is bosses. PVZ1 only has one boss due to budgetary reasons, probably, but to be fair, it's a great boss, with the music getting straight to the point that this is a big ol' intense fight. The theme also being entirely unique to this single fight was interesting. Like, this night rooftop theme doesn't come for, like, a whole world or anything. The actual gameplay itself is really easy, but it is fun. I like how varied the zombie attacks are, while also having a great design. PVZ2 bosses, on the other hand, are kind of like the quantity over quality thing I mentioned earlier, but definitely worse, as most of the bosses are recolors of the same fight with maybe one difference. Like, I'm going to list out every fight in the game that involved a machine running around from lane to lane, shooting bombs, spawning rockets, spawning zombies, and charging at your plants. World 1, World 2, World 3, World 6, World 7, World 8, World 9, and World 11, kinda. So while the game technically has 11 bosses, it more so has 5 plus the final boss isn't an original fight. Plus, likely because of budget, it's just 3 fights you already did, but with the new plant rosters. Which is kinda cool, but it's a letdown to an already kinda sucky final world. PVZ1 may only have 1 boss, but it's obviously winning this one, because there's only like 4 original bosses in this entire game. Next up, it's time to talk about the art. PVZ1's art is more realistic and shaded, while PVZ2's art is more animated and bouncy. However, there is one obvious winner, which is best shown by the plant designs. For the sake of good comparisons, only original plants for each game. The Scaredy Shroom has wavering eyebrows to show it's brave, currently, for attacking, but unsure of for how long. The Hot Potato is a little guy with a smiley face. He's also blushing a little bit. I don't know why he's blushing. It's probably just because he's a hot potato. He's too hot. I don't know. The Ice Shroom has an upsetting demeanor with its eyes indicated by a shadow. A large frown on his face is to show that it's basically the giant red bird of this game, which is an Angry Birds reference, so if you didn't get that, now you do. Anyway, next is the Aki, which is a little guy with a smiley face. He's about to shoot upward to deal damage by his 4 shot things. He has a more happy look than chill, unlike Hot Potato, I guess. It's a flower instead of a potato, as well. The flower pod from PVZ1 on the surface is just a regular flower pod. A small plant coming out of it implies plants can be placed in it, but that's it. Until you realize the flower pot has a face and is alive. Therefore, the flower pot is canonically a plant, because the plant is alive. And next is the Sunbean, which is a little guy with a smiley face. It is a glowing yellow ball as it's a bean that turns zombies into sun that eat it, so that's how you know. The Chomper is from PVZ2, but it's adapted to that game anyway, so it counts. It's a Venus flytrap, but big, purple, and with no eyes. It has spikes on its head, and neck kind of like a dinosaur, and a grass-covered neck. A pretty cool design for one of the weakest gameplay plants in PVZ1, so that's something. As it appeared in like every Garden of Warfare sequel. The Bloomerang is a little guy with a smiley face. It has a boomerang tree on it to show it throws boomerangs. It's also the most obvious not based on any real plant in the game. The Torchwood is similar to Chomper, but it's adapted from PVZ1, so good enough. Except it's cooler because it's a tree on fire. It has a relatively angry expression on its face, and the length of the fire shows it ignites stuff above it. Also, I'm not positive, but it looks far more detailed than any other plant to show off its anger fully. So that's cool. The Electric Blueberry is a little guy with a smiley face. It's blue and shiny to show it will spawn electricity after like 20 seconds. The Escape Root is a little guy with a smiley face. Okay, you get it. A remarkable amount of plants in this game look like Stickman faces. Like 2 eyes and a mouth, but no nose. Sure, I don't think any PVZ1 plant had a nose aside from Cattail, but their designs were far more expressive than a face and a somewhat design difference from others. Obviously, PVZ1 wins this one. And before you object and say that, like, Bok Choy is cool, Bok Choy is probably the most famous plant in PVZ2, and there's like 200 plants in that game. Most of them look like Cartoon Network characters, I'm sorry to tell you. Anyway, music time. PVZ1 wins, no contest. Raise of the Roof is one of those songs that's so good you can hum it easily without forgetting any parts. To be fair, it has no vocals or anything, it's just a good beat. Also, Watery Graves is great. Loon Boon is arguably better than Raise the Roof, as it's an upbeat vibe throughout the whole song, and even has a slow methodical part. It's pretty fun for the mini-games, you know? The closest PVZ2 has to a great song like that is, I don't know, the Big Wave Beach soundtrack. It doesn't fully fit the Plants vs. Zombies franchise, which is known for, like, methodical songs, as the game's main thing is to think. Big Wave Beach goes for a loud, like, and it fits the time being the 50s. That's about it. It's pretty good, though. So, PVZ1 wins. No contest, as mentioned. And then I guess I'll mention specifically EA greed. PVZ1 has an ad every time you start a level and end a level, so therefore in the adventure, the regular adventure, not the doing the adventure twice for the Yeti achievement, or you try to like play mini games or challenges and all that, if you don't even count all that, I believe each ad gives a 1/10 of a cent worth of like revenue to the creators of the game. So that would mean that every time you play the adventure, EA gets 10 cents, which may not seem like a lot, but that's a lot of time. That's like an hour's worth of ads, I think. PVZ2, on the other hand, while they do have a lot more microtransactions, I'm pretty sure all the rentable plans combined is closer to like $500. Plus, they got like the bundles and all that, which existed before PVZ1 added them, because EA loves that. However, those are optional. You don't have to get anything to beat the game. I've known that because I beat the game like 4 years ago. Sure, I use power-ups a lot, but you don't really need to like spend money on power-ups. So I'd say that PVZ2 wins this round. So for the final results, PVZ2 has 2 points, while PVZ1 has 5 points. So while PVZ2 is pretty good compared to most EA PVZ games, it is still worse than PVZ1, which does make sense. PVZ1 is so good that it could contend with some console games. Even with ads, it's still great. Comment below if you want me to make a Plants vs. Zombies versus, I don't know, Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex's Revenge. And comment below as previously mentioned. That's it for this video. I hope you protected your brains from, I don't know, evil green things who deal damage to stuff. Or else. See ya.